Hi, everybody. Let's see. See all the sun. The water is starting to come down just a little bit, just a little bit. And it's beautiful. A quick visual descriptor. I have long brown hair, glasses, a black coat hood, coffee mug in hand. We have the river, the sun rising behind us. We're up here in a gazebo in a public park space. Birds are singing. Water is flowing. The green is coming back. I look out there. There's even more leaves today. Uh, oh, oh, and then there's some birds flying around back there. Look, it's just beautiful. It's everything that we want. Really, everything I want, which is nature. I mean, nature. That's something that makes my day amazing. It doesn't matter if it's summer or winter or spring or fall. Whether we're down on the trail right next to the river, or whether we're up here looking down at the river. This is what makes my days marvelous. I'm always glad to share it with all. Sorry. I hope you have your coffee or tea, whatever it may be, whatever makes your day spectacular, whatever gets you going, hot or cold, with sugar or honey or plain, or maybe you're drinking water right now and you don't drink coffee or tea. But whatever it may be, I hope you have your cup up. I have my coffee here. That's the way I like to start my day. With just a nice warm cup of. I'm joining you all right now uh, through Restream, coming out broadcasting to Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Restream is absolutely wonderful. Do consider looking into it if you want to start live streaming. They're awesome. Obviously, but let's have a little conversation about something because you know there's a continuous dialogue, monologue sometimes that we've been having in regards to becoming a better artist, writer, a more creative person, ways to improve your flow, your work, into better states, to expand your skills, all of these other things. But let's talk about something really important that relates to it, but it might relate to a larger group of people out there, right? That's getting in touch with your creativity. No matter what kind of work you do, no matter what kind of art you do, no matter what your job is, creativity is valuable. And if you're an artist, creativity is sometimes implicit, quite valuable. But there's a lot of other jobs out there where we might not always consider creativity as something really important for what we do. But the truth is, creative thinking, problem solving, uh, being able to come up with new ideas through disconnected thoughts, no matter what job you have, it's going to be incredibly useful. Critical thinking and sometimes abstract thinking. to allow you to climb out of the box. It's so important. But how do you get in touch with your creativity? How do you really access that part of yourself? And is it a part of yourself, or is it some sort of innate talent or skill that you're born with? Well, let's start with thing number one. Um, Lots of us are born with talents or proclivities towards certain things, but those talents are often more broad than you know than something super specific. So creativity can be something that you already kind of have a proclivity towards, a natural bending, because of any number of things, either between the way you grew up or something potentially within you when you were born. But creativity isn't limited to just being some innate thing that you either have or don't. Creativity is a skill. It's something that you can build up. It's something you can improve on. It's something that you can grow. If you feel like you don't have creativity or you're not creative, you can become creative. You can work it like a muscle. You can develop the tools required to have creative and diverse modes of thinking. So everyone can be creative. Everyone has the possibility to be creative. Perhaps you are already creative, but that's not how you label that type of thinking or that type of working or action. And that's okay. We don't have to look at things in very strict terminology. And if you want to get in touch with creativity, that's the first thing you got to do. The first thing you have to do is stop thinking about things categorically or very, very small. Diversifying your thinking and removing preconceptions about things is actually a really important step towards moving and progressing as a creative person. And we do have preconception. It's almost unavoidable as we come up in our local communities, our families, our school systems, our culture. We develop preconceptions about certain things. These preconceptions can often limit the way we think about specific topics. And these limitations are something that may potentially hamper your creative thinking. So this is kind of a tall order, but accessing more of your creative thinking, building your creative tool set, expanding upon your creativity, your innate talents, and then new talents, and then all of the various bits of you that could potentially burst forth with new ideas. A lot of these are held back. Sometimes held. I know that's a bit of a harsh way to say it, but they're held back by thinking in lanes, in categories, in boxes, in topics. Sometimes you have to break the mold. Because that's the only way you're going to get something new. I come out here every day. I look at nature. And though I can appreciate it for what is visible and what I can just see, there's so many other aspects to it, and there's so many other potential outcomes of what I can absorb. When you pick up a cup of coffee on your way to work. There's so many ways for that situation to go. And I know these seem like unrelated ideas to what I was just talking about, but they're not. Creativity is looking out instead of just nature, instead of just seeing the trees and the river and hearing the birds, thinking about it as all of its individual parts, thinking about it as music, rearranging the colors and the shapes into new things, new ideas. A tree doesn't have to be a tree, and a bird doesn't have to sing. These are just the things that we view now. Removing the outer structure, breaking the mold, stepping away from your preconception can open up a lot. Because in truth, some of what you hear that might sound like birds to you, in reality are actually squirrels and bugs and frogs and other animals that are imitating birds. Just knowing kind of that small fact is really fun and really interesting and expands your worldview. So do consider breaking your expectations of the world, looking at things from different angles, looking deeper into things. Sometimes actually understanding things even more can make us more creative with the final outcome of what we intend to do. But before I go much further, I'd like to address something. And it's actually one of the difficult things sometimes about creative expression. Sometimes we want to express ourselves creatively, but we get held back, sometimes by our insecurities, sometimes by discomfort, sometimes we're thinking, what will other people say? What will other people think? If I this post up, if I share this picture, if I write this story, if I publish this article, what will people think? Well, it's not always true, but one of the other things that can often hamper our creativity is letting ourselves fall to discomfort. Being slightly uncomfortable, being put off and not at ease, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you need to be a little uncomfortable with what you're going to be doing. Because that discomfort, again, is going to allow you to change your perspective. And when you feel that discomfort, it probably, but not always, but can be, because something is challenging. And when things challenge us in a specific way, or a specific set of ways, we get very uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable goes along sometimes with those border edges of our creative thinking. So, let me just set to you a small challenge for your discomfort. Hi, over there on Twitch. I'm so glad you're here today. Let me just set a small challenge for you on your discomfort. Because if you want to get in touch with your creativity, there's potentially something you've been wanting to do, but you're not doing because maybe you don't feel confident. Maybe you don't feel comfortable doing it. So maybe you want to dance. You don't have to do it in public, but maybe you want to dance and you don't dance because you get embarrassed, uncomfortable. I set a challenge to you, dance, even if it's just in the privacy of your own home. Dance. Just do it. Just lose yourself. And if you find yourself laughing and giggling and uncomfortable, okay, it's all right. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to share it with anyone, but you do have to do it for yourself. And perhaps there's something you've been wanting to post, but you haven't posted it. Maybe a message, a picture, um, an article, maybe your inner thoughts, and you're concerned about how that will reflect on you. And I'm not saying that you have to do it, and I'm not saying that things don't always reflect poorly back on it, but if there's been something you've been wanting to say it somewhere, share it somewhere. And perhaps there's something that you have an interest in that you wanted to pursue, but maybe because of family, maybe because of culture, maybe because of your business sphere, you haven't pursued it because, again, you're worried about how it's going to reflect back on you. You're worried about what someone's going to say about what your interests are. Pursue that thing, whatever it is, even if it's just reading about it, watching some video. I'm sorry, taking a class. Do it for you. Unlocking our own creativity, unlocking our own inner voice can require some discomfort, some embarrassment, feeling unsure. Just keep in mind that many people have felt that way before you. And many people will feel that way after you. Many people are feeling what you're feeling right now. We're getting really close to 8 billion people on the planet. And with that many people in the world, there are definitely people who feel like you do right now. Pursue what you want to do. Now, don't forget to grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Get an extra one if you need it. I have one more thing to say before I go for the day, and that is I have released 8 new art prints in my digital gallery. There's going to be a link somewhere nearby, depending on where you're joining me, so that you can visit my digital gallery and you can pick up one of these art prints. They're based off some of my charcoal work, portraiture, some of my abstract paintings, and there's going to be potentially more of them coming, but right now there are 8 of them. Consider picking up an art print. Support the art, support indie art, and don't forget that when you support an indie artist, you're also supporting all of the other artists and businesses that help make what we do possible. If you support sometimes the off to the side artist, you'd be surprised how far that goes to making a larger impact on the world around you. But before I get too far off, I would like to say thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for joining me for all this wonderful time. By the river. Go out, have yourself an absolutely beautiful day. Take care, be excellent, and please do consider supporting the art, checking out my digital gallery, and getting yourself an art print. I would appreciate it so very much. And you'll get a little uncomfortable and be creative for you. I'm going to have a little sip of this. All right, but I am out of here for today. So take care, be excellent. I will see you all again real soon. Thank you for being here. Bye, everybody.